Hello, 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 and welcome to the 10th Amiga Vibes show here on StyLE Radio. I'm iZero and gonna play you some great Amiga remixes tonight, and maybe some not so great, who knows. You can join the chat on Discord by going to the StyLE.radio/Discord. I can see that there is Cactus and Ninja DNA, and I think FS might be around, so a request from him. And yeah, you can make your own requests by going to StyLE.radio/request. We started the show with TNT and track Paranoimia, which is quite new remix from October, 9th of October. And I can see that there is 5 remixes in the queue, so we might get some more still in October. Last time I had little problems with the mic, did some updated mix and OBS and the OS and the machine, so hopefully today there is not so much problems with that. But who knows? Right, let's play another new remix, and this is FZN, and the track is Superfrog World 3. Let me think. That one. That was FZN with Superfrog World 3. I had to Google that what was the third world. Did I say level? Well, anyway. Didn't remember, but yeah, that was the Fun Park world. I did play through the Superfrog back in the days, but haven't played it much since. Well, I have played the world, first world quite many times, but I haven't really used time to play it more. Yeah, I might look a bit tired because of the summertime, coming back to the normal time from summertime. Went to bed a little bit too late, and then, well, you get 1 hour extra sleep basically when with moving clocks to back. But if you happen to know that when you have small kids, like 4-year-old, their internal clock doesn't change. So she woke up 6 a.m. because normally it's 7 a.m. So yeah, great. Yeah, but last week, not this week, but last week, I had a week off from work, autumn vacation, so did my relaxation there, and now it's all gone. Yeah. Let's play the first request. Actually, the first requester is Slaygon, because he tipped about a video in on YouTube. Now I have to dig out what was it. Yeah, it's Myles Wright with Ghouls and Ghosts, Amiga 500 version. So let's play that when I think about what I need to push. Maybe that one. Let's try. Myles Wright with Ghouls and Ghosts, 1988 Amiga 500 version. And it was requested by Slagon a week ago or something like that. And yeah, it's Halloween time. It's not big thing in Finland. There's no trick or treat or such things, but yeah, well, the shops are full of decorations and so on, and some do have like Halloween parties and so on, but we haven't gone to that road many times yet. We did have actually in this space once for kids, like 5 years ago, something like that. I have to play bed playing. No? Yeah, so what was I going to say? Yeah, about the autumn vacation, I took the kids. We went with train to to Tampere and did some. Well, first we went to the game museum and other museums in the same building with the same ticket. And then next day did some climbing. There's I don't remember anymore the heights, but there's a place where well you can take like kids to the veterans. It's in a small mall in the center of it. So 1 hour climbing time. It was pretty fun. I didn't have much time to climb myself because I had to take care of the youngest one. She did enjoy it. And yeah, after that we went swimming under the bigger mall in Lempäälä. Drove there by bus and so on, and next day we went to Helsinki and did some visiting friends, family actually, and did some shopping and went to Espoo and then back to Helsinki and then back home. After that, well, relaxed at home. I went to see last football game in the old stadium. Well, stadium football field is more like here because we are getting new one next spring. So we went to see the last official game in that field with my son, and so on. Yeah, and actually did some horse things also. My another daughter rides horses. We went to the stables, and I have no experience with horses, so had to do some maintenance. How do you call it? But anyway, it was fun. And then this Monday went back to work, or came here to do some work, and so on. But anyway, let's play next track. And this is actually a request from, I need to dig it out. Yeah, by Vandali, because Vandali couldn't join the show live, so he wanted to request in forehand. And Vandali wanted to hear Wings of Death Stage 3 remix by Q. and I should have it ready here. Cube with Cube with Wings of Death, Stage 3. Almost revealed the next request. And I'd back to the last week. I bought the Settlers 2 for Amiga. And installed it, started to play the campaign, but haven't had really time to play it much. I think I have played half an hour so far. But yeah, I don't have the graphics card for the 1200, so it's just a HEA screen resolution, so a bit small, but runs fine. So playable and nice game if you like the genre. Yeah, let's play next request. And by the way, I need some requests. I have just this one, so please think about some game or demo or just mod that you want to hear or want to hear a remix of it, then put it into Slater.radio/request. But yeah, the request that I have left is by FS, and it's Amok and Enigma Hyperbased. Let's play that. Amok with Hyperbased Enigma. Can you hear the ringing tone? I think it's the Jesse Mac phone call. Found this, well, not found, I knew that I have these Street Talk phones in my cupboard. Let's see how it looks a bit clear. I need to hide my own face. There. I think I got these phones like, don't remember, maybe I was like 7 to 10 or something like that. Probably Christmas present, I think. Yeah, just this week remembered that maybe I should check out these if I can fix them. Well, they kind of worked, but well, it was already back in the days that well, there was 9 meters of this thin cord and 2 phones. We used these phones with my brother from room to room, and then you close the door and it was between the door and the wall, so broke up, and then you throw these and pull the cord and so on. So I remember that they were not working so well so often. So decided to check the, how to improve these. Actually, thought about doing these like wireless version, but maybe I'll just first go with rework or making them back like new code, and some try to like change some modern better ones components meaning. So let's see, maybe get them to work a bit better so I can call to my daughter from another room. And I had something in mind. Yeah, I was looking through my components like transistors and resistors and so on, and found out a big stash of LEDs. So got an idea for the background where to use some LEDs. So there might be something cooking for incoming shows. That's why the 3D printer light is also on. So did some 3D printing for that today. Yeah, let's see. Okay, now we have some requests, and yeah, we have new people on the chat. Well, not new, but more people. So there is at least Edward, Funky Data, Xiny, Persia, and FS is also now in chat. So hello everyone. And yeah, well, let's see. Ninja DNA wanted some Liljedahl, so I chose a track from Encore 500 album called Beetlemusic, and it's by Jogeir, Liljedahl and Rapture. So let's play that next. Jogeir, Liljedahl and Rapture Beetlemusic from album Encore 500 and featuring me, so I forgot to mute the mic. So you could hear my breathing and coughing on top of that. Alright, let's play one track from my list. I don't remember why I chose this one, but I think it was good. I many times listened to like the red ones and the orange ones, like ratings. I have a playlist on my phone with those tracks or remixes, and just playing with the random play shuffle, and when I hear something that gets my ear in that moment, I write it down and put it in the next show's playlist. So this one is by Spiral Hands on Jochen, Hippel, and the track is called Modu Attack, Chambers of Shaolin. Spiral Hands on Jochen Hippel and Modu Attack, Chambers of Shaolin. Got a bit frightened. I was setting up something on my Amiga when the first speech came into my ears. What happens? Oh, yeah, it's this track. But yeah, one thing about changing to back to normal time, I saw this great tip in social media how to set up the clocks. So you don't need to dig out the manuals how to set the time on the stove or microwave oven or so on. So when it's, well, you need to remember that does it reset to like noon or most probably to the midnight. So pull the plug like minute before midnight and then at midnight push the plug back. So there you go, you got the time correct on that device. And the next device on the next day also, if you want to be like sharp with the time. Right, let's go to the next request, and it was a request, it will be what it is. A request by Berka. It's DJ METUNE with Canon Fodder Amiga game intro reloaded. DJ METUNE with Canon Fodder Amiga game intro Reloaded. And it was also featured on last show, the one Hit Wonders, I think. Yeah. And we haven't mentioned Outrun yet. So notice that the Outrun Amiga edition, which came out like a month or two ago, maybe 3. In addition to that, there is also a project called Outrun AGA, and forgot the name of the coder. But anyway, on the Amiga 40 show, there was a demo version of that Outrun version was released, and I noticed that the music for that will be done by DJ METUNE, and it looked great. Taking account that it runs on the stock Amiga 1200, I think. Maybe not, no. I don't remember if it needed some fast mem or not. Anyway, without any accelerators. Alright, let's see, what did I line up? Yeah, and did I remember to say that it was requested by Berg? Thank you for that. And yeah, Funky Data will get 2 requests in a row, because the demo that will be played next after the next track was requested by Funky Data last time. So now I have that ready on my Amiga to be played with real hardware. But before that, Funky Data requested Andrea Baroni with Project X Thesmophoria acoustic, something like that. Andrea Baroni with Project X. Thesmophoria? Something? I always lose the name from the screen. Thesmophoria acoustic. And it was requested by Funky Data. And it's time to play a demo which was also requested by Funky Data last time during the One Night Wonder show. So this will be Starstruck by the Black Lotus. And let's do some magic to get it to run. There. And yeah, let's see. Okay, now I think we can play it. the Black Lotus by, no, Starstruck by the Black Lotus. And if you have to happen to know the guys of the group, please tell that there is a bug in the demo, because now if I go, for example, here, load something, well, okay, now I need something which has more things. Now we can see the guru. Well, it's not guru in the current software version, but anyway, there. Yep, nice demo. Thanks for requesting that fun great. Alright, let's go to the next request. And let's see, what was the request? Yeah, it was a request by unknown user. And the request is a Prehistoric Tale title by Proton. So let's try to play that. Okay. No? There. A Prehistoric Tale by Proton. The title. Yeah, about the Outrun HA version. The coder name was what was it? Okay, I dig it down, but I already lost it. HR mouse on English Amiga board, and it was something like Retro DNA Games is the team for that. And yeah, it's for Amiga 1200, 4000 and CD32, requiring the edgy chipset. But yeah, there is a mention in the news that if the EGA version is successful, there might be a OCS version later. And what else I had in mind about that? Well, I had something, but lost it already. Yeah. Let's go to the next request. Requester is Nether Elmo, and the request is a remix, a good remix of God's main theme. So let's see. I put here remix by Power Trace. At least it has good ratings, so might be a good one. Let's see. Oh, listen. was by Power Trace and it was requested by Nether Elmo. Thank you for that. I had something in my mind, but yeah, let's talk about that after the next track. Instead of that, let's just play the next track, which is a request by me. Yeah, this is not a request, but another track from my list for the show. So yeah, we haven't heard any Turrican yet, so here's Aki Järvinen with Turrican 2 Desert Rocks metal version 1:1, or is it 1.1 actually? Järvisen Aki, Turrican 2 Desert Drugs Metal version 1.1. Yeah, I don't listen to the metal music, but like the electric guitar sounds every now and then. So I do like the remixes, many of the remixes by Aki Järvinen. Alright. Yeah. Next request is by Amiga Hyperbased. Sounds a bit like FS or something like that. But yeah, it's Peter Clark and Space Harry, and the space word was the thing that triggered me before the last track when I was digging out the right track to the list. Yeah, there was it last week? Yeah, a week ago, I think. I was outside on the yard right behind you, looking to the sky for the comet. Was it Lemon or something like that? With binoculars, difficult word for Finnish, for me at least. Anyway, didn't see the comet, but when I put the binoculars down, I saw this meteor going down. It was pretty bright and long one. And yeah, next day in the news there was news about that. So it was the meteor was recorded by many of those cams that the space hobbyists have, so they could calculate the a landing spot, and it's pretty near here, like half an hour ago, half an hour to go to there. Persia is the place. So I think there is now a group of people trying to find out if there is the meteorite somewhere. Might be a bit hard to find that from the fields or forests or somewhere, but who knows, maybe they do find it. Right, so let's play the track now. Peter Clark with Space Harrier.
Welcome to the fantasy zone. Get ready.
Peter Clark with Space Harrier, and it was requested by Amiga Hyperbased. Alright, let's see. Okay, yeah. I did some raking today. We have pretty, we don't have trees on our yard, but pretty much bushes that rounds the yard. So took the rake and collected 6 bags, 100 liter each. So what does it take? I'll make actually 900 liters of leaves, and then drove them to the collection point. So prevented some forest fires in Finland. I don't know if anyone has seen those headers, but I think it was this or last summer in USA, the California forest fires. So the orange dumbhead had told that in Finland there's no forest fires because people rake the forests. Right. Yeah, well, we almost had fire in our house. Not really, but we have a fireplace, and when it's rainy weather, so the air pressure is low. It might might be a bit hard to get the fire to burn properly, at least in the beginning. So was it yesterday? Yes. We made a fire in the fireplace. First it was burning a bit low, but then later I added some wood in there, so it started to burn well. And like 10 minutes after that I started to make food, and was doing some steaks stove. So I started what is it called, the thing that sucks the air to the sky. So the fire didn't like it. It went down because the airflow turned the wrong way, so the smoke came into our living room. took some time before the smoke detector detected that. But yeah, there was like a half a meter of smoke on the ceiling level, so didn't get the warmth on the fireplace because I had to open the windows and doors to get the smoke out. So that was fun. Yeah, let's go to the next request, and it's a request by Persia. Yes, and the artist is Make, and the track is James Bond 2 or Robocod, title Fizzy Agent. Make Good with James Bond 2, a Robocod, title Fizzy Agent, and it was requested by Persia. Thank you for that. And yeah, I think let's see, one thing. Oh, yeah, there's a problem with the title in the track list. No problem in the Silicon's code. The title has those escape things. Right, let's play the next request. Okay, yeah. And it's by Ninja DNA, and the request is a Project X tune. We heard one already, but let's play another one. This is by oh, okay, let's Google it thing. No, didn't find it. Ah, okay, the title is different on the MP3 metadata. No? Ah, okay, yeah, different track. Yeah, this is Project X 1999 remix by Alistair Primple himself. So let's play that. Alistair Primble Project X 1999 remix, and it was requested by Ninja DNA. Right, we have one more request that I'm gonna play because he got it just in time. We'll run a few minutes over the 11. What is it in your time? 10:30. Yeah, getting tired. Right, but yeah, Tiffy got his request in, and it's Battle Squadron High Score by Tomsk, and it's from the Encore 500 album, as well as some of those previous requests of the evening. Tomsk and Butler Squadron High Score. And it was requested by Tiffy. Thank you for that. Yeah, 2 tracks to go. Was it this one? I have selected Adrian Everson's track Utopia next, or the second last track. You might know that I really like the Data's Utopia remix, but this is also a great one. Love the original mod also, so let's play that one. Well, not the original, but this one. Remixed by Adrian Everson. Utopia by Adrian Everson. Alright, it's time to me to go to sleep. This was the Amiga Vibes number 10 on StyLE Radio, and I was thinking Qued ended his C64 Takeaway podcast to number 64, which was a great number to end the podcast 64. And Matt is going to do his show number 300 as his last one. So is the goal for me 500? Maybe 10? Not 10. I mean 1000. Well, the A600 was originally planned as a 300, so there is one possibility. Yeah, don't have yet plans to quit this thing. So you will hear from me soon. Maybe not next week, maybe the near week after that. I haven't planned it yet. But in the meantime, Matt is still doing the show tomorrow on Boss Radio, Cactus on Tuesday, Boss on Wednesday. I think Zion and Slacon will be on StyLE Radio on Thursday. Kate Pitt probably on Friday because she had to cancel the show this Friday. And Zero on Saturday, probably. I haven't checked the schedules yet. So, thank you everyone for joining and requesting. And for the last track, I had some like Halloween tracks on my list, but didn't play them. Wasn't requested. But the last one is called Yo Joe Haunted House, and it's remixed by Rapture. So let's listen to that, and good night, and have a nice week next week. Bye.
Only Amiga makes it possible.